Hello, everyone. Christina here. Welcome to another live stream here at my YouTube channel. So sorry for not getting the live stream scheduled earlier today. I totally spaced it when I went to go get ready to go live, and I was like, wait a minute. You haven't even scheduled it. So it's been a crazy day. Tonight, I'm going to kind of do a throwback to some of my ink blending combos. We're going to do some fun summer blends using Concord and Ninth inks, mostly just because those are the inks that I've been using for the last couple of years since I have my line with Concord and Ninth. So we're going to have some fun kind of summer blends. And this really features a lot of the new 2026 colors, mostly because I really feel like there are really bright, saturated colors in the new 2026 line, and it lends itself to summer blends really well. So these are all the inks I'm going to be using today. I'm going to put those up here or out of the way so we can really get going here. And then you guys can actually see how long it takes to blend these live, because it's not a fast process to get a really, really nice smooth blend. The cardstock I'm using tonight is Neenah Classic Crest Solar White in the 80-pound version. I do the thinner version. You could use the thicker one as well if you'd like. Since these are just kind of like swatches and to kind of test out the colors, I'm not too concerned about how thick of cardstock I'm using. I don't like to ink blend directly down onto my black glass surface because I can't tell where the ink is. So I'm going to be blending on top of this like inexpensive computer paper. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tina. Yes, I just finished my nails earlier today, and I wanted to do patriotic, but not like, stars and stripes and flags and stuff. Just, red, white, blue. It'll be great. Okay, so this first combination is powder Oceanside Basil, or Basil, depending on how you want to say it. And I'm hoping this one is a good blend. It's a little bit different. I thought it looked a little bit like tropical in the sense that like leaves and like really bright, almost those leaves that look all rubbery. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm going for. All right, so my blending brush that I'm using here has blue left on it, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Yeah, you can see it's got a little bit of ghosted blue there. We're going to go into the powder and start blending on one end. When it comes to doing really nice blends like this, you want to bring the color in further than you actually anticipate it showing, because it needs to overlap with the next color down. Okay, this powder is looking very, very blue, probably because it's picking up a lot of the ink that's left on my brush, but I'm just going to go with it. Gina, your envelope finally got to you. I'm glad it got to you. I did a mail our envelope for Gina, and sometimes if my envelopes go through the mail upside down by accident, they try to send the envelope to me. They use my return address instead of where it's supposed to go. And so it came back to me, and I was like, what? They even canceled the postage on the other side. At least I remember them doing that. So I had to like put it in another envelope and send it back out. That was funny. All right, so now I'm using Oceanside, and I'm going to try to take this right down the center. I'm getting a little bit of a dark spot there. Now, the brushes I'm using today give a really, really soft blend. So it's not going to be as saturated as it would be using other brushes. But in a lot of cases, that works to your advantage because it gives you the opportunity to let the colors build instead of coming in hot with your like strongest shade right away. All right, I'm going to go back to powder. I do this a lot. I'm going to go back to powder. Yes, I heard about the postage stamps increasing in July. Not looking forward to it. I think it's a really big jump this time too. All right, so I've got a little bit of that blue to like an ocean color. And now we're going to go straight into a green. Going in with Basil. This is a newer ink pad, so it's going to come in really hot. So I'm going to try to temper that by starting off my paper off my swatch and then coming in, because I don't want to come in with that really, really strong ink right off the bat. These colors just scream summer to me. All right, I'm bringing up the green. I'm bringing the green a little bit further. Oh, so you got it a little hot right there. I'm going to bring the green up into the Oceanside quite a bit so that it has an opportunity to overlap. Okay, see how it's starting to overlap a little bit? That's what I want. All right, I'm going to come back. I feel like I'm losing a little bit of that Oceanside, like the Basil is taking over. So I'm going to come back to the Oceanside, and I just put my fingers into my ink pad. That's cute. Let's clean that off really fast. Okay, so back to the Oceanside. Really load up my brush. I'm going to bring that down right through here. I'm really going to bring that Oceanside closer to the bottom, like closer to this side, so that I get more overlap. Okay, I think that's a pretty good blend. I think the Basil kind of went up into the Oceanside. It was really strong. The ink pad is really juicy, so that I think that was part of what made that occur. But there's the first blend. We've got powder, which is really like powder and probably a little bit of, I don't even know what blue, maybe blueberry. It was a mix. It was whatever was on the ink blending brush. Then we've got Oceanside, and then we've got Basil. All right, up next, and I'm thinking I want to swap out my computer paper just because these inks, they can reactivate with moisture. And so I don't know if it would be an issue, but I'm sort of thinking that maybe putting more ink on top as I'm blending, it might kind of alter the color that I'm going for. So just to prevent that. The next color combination, oh, I love this one. I think I've done something similar to this on a previous card. We're doing Starfruit, Surfside, and Capri. Surfside is so beautiful. It's so beautiful and bright. And I do love Starfruit a lot too. I don't use it very often, but I do love it. If I would have continued on, Jennifer would have been proud. I can't do it. I have to clean up my fingers whenever they get inky. All right, coming in with Starfruit, which just looks like a neon yellow, really. It's like it's as lemon yellow as you get. It's just a super, super bright yellow. It's a little bit of a greenish tinge to it, but I want to make sure that I bring it pretty far down. See how far I brought that down? It's like all the way like past halfway. All right. Going to set Starfruit aside, and we're going to go to Surfside. Now, Surfside is also a new color, so it should be pretty inky. Not too bad. I'm going to take that right down the center. And I don't want to lose the Starfruit, so I'm going to aim like right here instead of exactly at half, because I kind of anticipate that Surfside will take over that Starfruit really easily. I do love the colors overlapping. Do you see how it's getting this bright green? It's so pretty. I should zoom in. Hold on. My remote is low on battery, I think. Okay. Come up here. All right, and now I'm going to start to bring the Surfside up into the Starfruit a little bit. Just a little bit at a time, because I don't want it to completely overtake that yellow. I love yellow, but it can really be overtaken by other colors very easily. Okay. I'm going to try to get that blend up there even a little bit more. All right, and I'm going to bring the Surfside down onto this other end even a little bit more, because I happen to know that the next color, which is Capri, can be pretty intense. And I think it's going to overtake that Surfside really easily as well. I'm kind of going from like a less intense color to a little more intense to the most intense. Yes, Melissa, these brushes are super, super soft. They are lovely for blending. They're so just soft and luscious. Okay, coming in with Capri. And I'm almost like blending like to the side, because I don't want it to come in and just completely overrun that Surfside. And this ink pad is very juicy as well. Okay, I've got like a solid kind of portion of Capri. So now I'm going to start very gently starting to like push the color into the Surfside, but I don't want to like stay in one area too long. I'm just kind of, I can even kind of go back and forth, because sometimes if you're doing a circular motion, you can get like I'm starting to get like a little circular issue right here. Okay, I think that blends pretty good. I don't even feel like I need to go back and do any others. The colors remind you of the 80s a little bit, right? The 80s in my mind was known for very bright, vibrant color, and that screams summertime to me. So that works. All right, so we've got Starfruit, Surfside into Capri, and it makes this really pretty like lime green right where the Starfruit and Surfside overlap. I think it's so pretty. Kind of makes me think of tropical fish, right? Okay, this next one, I'm actually gonna use Capri again. I'm doing Ballet Slipper, Aster, and Capri. This made me think of like a summer morning. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna start with the lightest color. And once again, I'm gonna swap out my paper that I'm blending on. Oh, sorry, it's very not focusing. All right. Yes, I was there for the 80s as well. That was my childhood. All right, coming in with Ballet Slipper on this one end. And I think my Ballet Slipper ink pad is very, very dry. So this might take a minute to really get a lot of color on here going. But also Ballet Slipper is a very light color. So, you know, it is what it is. Like I've done in the previous blends, I'm going to make sure that I bring that blend in past halfway. I'm really trying to build up this color so it's nice and saturated. So these blending brushes really help you get a nice soft blend. But if you're struggling getting some nice gradients and some good blends, try a different cardstock. I would recommend trying, oh my gosh, Bristol paper. And Bristol paper has a little bit of a coating on it, so the inks don't absorb quite as quickly. And so you have a little more time to really blend your colors onto the cardstock. Okay, that's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good blend of Ballet Slipper. So hold on, I'm just getting rid of some blending brushes here. Got like 5 million of them sitting around. All right, next color is Aster. Now this color is also one of the new inks or colors from Concord and Ninth for the year. So it's probably going to come in pretty juicy. Yeah. So I'm going to try to be careful as I bring it down and across. I might even just do a up and down motion. I'm using a very, very light hand and just letting the bristles glide across the cardstock. All right, I'm going to start moving the ink to the right. Just barely starting to let it blend up into that ballet slipper. I do want the highest concentration of color to be near the center of my swatch, but I don't want it to completely cover up all of the pink. I want to make sure that there's still like a good transition there. I feel like if you're not getting like a really nice transition of color on your ink blends, you might just need to overlap the inks a little bit more. All right, so that overlap is looking pretty good. And then I can bring the Capri in on the other end. But I know Capri, like we learned in the last one, can be really strong. So I'm going to bring this Aster down even more. Okay. Y'all, I only have 4 ink blends planned for tonight. This is going to go real fast. The last color for this one is Capri. And like I did on the last one, I'm going to focus on the blend just off the edge. And then I can start to work the color onto the swatch itself. And I love the color that happens when you have Aster and Capri overlapping. Ugh, I've done it on a few cards, and it just makes the most beautiful blue violet. It's my favorite. All right, see where it's starting to get that overlap? Oh, I love it so much. I love it so much. All right. That is looking pretty good. I'm just, with whatever ink is left on my brush, I'm just bringing it up a little bit further into the center. That really helps blend everything out. Look how pretty that blend is. Oh, I love that red, like a blue violet. So pretty. One of my favorites. All right, this last one, we're going for like hot summer day, right? Is anyone having crazy heat waves? Oddly, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. We had like a storm come through and it was 61 degrees. There was snow in the mountains. What was that about? It was just weird. I mean, we need it. We're so dry. We're technically a desert anyway, and we've got fires right now. Not anywhere near me, thank heavens, but I'm very grateful for that. But we needed the moisture and the cool air, so I'm not going to complain. But I thought that was just so weird. Like end of June, snow. Bizarre. Okay. Summer heat. We're doing Buttercup, Pimento to Berry Kiss. I thought about doing maybe to even like a cranberry, but I felt like the cranberry would be almost a little too browned out. Does that make sense? It would just be a little too dark. Yeah. I've also heard that Europe is in some crazy heat wave right now. like a crazy amount of heat wave. And one of my good friends just, she flew to Europe on Saturday to go on a Scandinavian cruise. And I'm like, girl, I hope you packed a fan. All right, like I've done with the previous yellows or the lighter shades, I'm going to bring this color in past the center. Really trying to get that color on there. Nice saturated color. We want to feel the summer heat on this one. Okay, I feel like I could get that even more saturated, so I'm going to do a little bit more. Okay, it's hard to tell with my bright lights, but it's pretty saturated with all that yellow. Okay. Now we're going to go to Pimento, which could be a mistake. We're going to find out. I'll grab my orange blending brush. And I'm going to try to, well, I guess I don't want to lose the berry kiss. So I guess I'll just come straight down the middle. But I will need to build this up because Pimento's a pretty intense color, but it's coming on really light because of like the very soft blending brush. All right, I'm going to try to build up the intensity right through the center, and then I'm going to try to feather out in both directions. And I don't want it to overtake the yellow completely. So I'm just using like whatever's left on my brush to kind of feather that out. See how it's getting like a softer blend coming up? Oh yeah, there's links to the brushes and the supplies down below. I listed the inks and then the brushes are right below that. Okay, I think that's a really nice one. I like this little peach color that we're getting where the Buttercup and Pimento overlap. I think that's really pretty. All right, let's move on to Berry Kiss. This is another one of those new colors. It's very intense. So I'm going to start kind of off the edge and then I'll work my way in. Because I think this could get really intense really fast. All right, I'm just slowly building that color right at the edge. And then I'm going to slowly bring it in and have it overlap that pimento until we have a nice seamless blend. We're starting to get there. You see that, how it's starting to blend into it really nicely? Okay, that's kind of an unexpected blend that I really love. Kind of like the bright berry kiss to pimento to buttercup. I love that so much. All right, those are the 4 blends that I had planned for today. Believe it or not, we're already done. That went faster than I thought. But how fun are these? Now, I've had some questions over the years, like, what do you do with all of your blending swatches? I actually don't do anything with them, But what you could do, and I've seen some people do this, is they write on the back the colors that were used, and then they punch a hole and have it on a little, like a ring. So they have some swatching examples, you know, some blends that they could use for future cards. I've also had people do the swatches and then say they're too pretty not to use. So they put them on cards, which I think what would be really cool is maybe like a black outline stamp that, you know, like a larger stamp that's like stamped half on, half off the blend. I think that could be really, really cool. Or have like a black and white background and then have the colorful swatch on top, and then just have like a really simple grading. I think that could be really, really cool. So quick and easy tonight. Not a whole lot to it. I don't even think I'm going to need to edit this down because it went so fast and easy. If you guys have any suggested colors for combinations, put them in the chat. We want to hear what you're blending these days. And I'm excited for our holiday weekend here in the US coming up. I hope all of you are planning something to celebrate. I haven't been like super excited about the 4th of July the last few years, but this year I am pumped, you know, hence the nails. I have to say, one of the things that's so fun is that I listen to this podcast, Pantsuit Politics, and I actually am a paid contributor or subscriber to their podcast. And one of the podcast hosts, Sarah, she does like a quick 5 to 7 minute news brief every single day. And so leading up to the 4th of July this week, she is reporting the news as if it was 1776. So I watched her first one this morning, and she's like dressed up in like period costume, and she's talking about how Maryland was one of the holdouts. They didn't want to join the other 12 colonies. And then finally they put it together. Anyway, she's reporting the news as if it's happening today. I am so pumped. I'm so excited to like see, like, I know what's happening on the 4th. So I'm excited to like see how it unfolds. It's going to be so cool. Amanda's asking, have you tried to blend complementary colors? I know it would be muddy in the middle, but I wonder if you could make the brown work. I have, specifically on Christmas cards, I've done green and red. And depending on the ink you use, and when they overlap you, sometimes you get like a purpley gray, and it looks really neat. So yeah. Yes, Vicky, hear ye. Yeah, so I'm so excited to like watch all of those news updates every day leading up to the 4th. I just think it's so fun. Anyway, I hope you all have a great 4th of July weekend, if that's your thing, if you're in the States. I have some big deadlines coming up, so I don't know that I'm going to have a video for you this week. In fact, I meant to have one for you last week and it didn't happen. So I'm not going to promise anything, but I hope to get back to crafting very soon. Thanks for joining me tonight. I love these blends, and I hope you try them out. If you guys try out any of these blends, tag me on Instagram or Facebook. I want to see what you make with them. Have a lovely week, and I hope you find some time to craft. Thanks for watching.